Yo people, welcome to another video. It's CMDAV. It's been a while, but yes, I'm back and we're here with a banger. We're gonna do Sharkey story time. I'm sure you guys have seen the good news. Waterloo Road is returning back soon, so obviously stay tuned. I'm gonna be doing some new Waterloo Road content as well as the old like I'm doing already. I'm looking to do some episode reviews and some season reviews as well, but don't worry, the content that I promise is still coming out as well. Back to the video. I can say now he is up there in my top 3 characters, if not even top 1, let me not lie. But yeah, still love for all the support, all the people watching the videos, all the people coming back and watching the new videos. I'm loving it. Thank you, keep supporting, keep sharing with your friends and that. But yeah, let's get into the video. Finn is introduced in season 5, the second part of it, and he's portrayed as the bad boy with troubled past, being excluded from his previous schools and having a history with Chris Mead, the current deputy head. I remember Chris telling Rachel and Kim not to take him in because Finn put his car on fire, but he didn't actually have evidence that it was him, but he knew it was him. I remember seeing that and just always thinking it was funny. We all knew it was him as well, but no evidence, you know. There's a common theme where Finn's parents are mostly absent, so he's usually living by himself most of the time. We later see that he relies on girls to feel secure. In episode 11, Finn quickly becomes friends with Josh and Amy by becoming a class clown, messing around and throwing the glass on the floor. He causes trouble throughout the day with Tom and Steph and is given his first warning by Chris at the end of the day. He was planning on having a party with his new friends after school, but when everybody bails on him, we finally see the real Finn, and he's just a lonely boy wanting some friends and wanting to impress people. So we see him return home to his big house boarding alone. In episode 12, we see Finn bringing alcohol for the school trip, and we also see him and Siobhan whispering about them getting together secretly. Amy becomes suspicious and believes that Siobhan fancies Finn, and she catches them kissing, and this starts an egg fight. After drinking, Craig accidentally drops the sanitizer on Josh's face. This leads to Tom telling Josh to stay away from Finn, and also Siobhan tells Amy that Finn is all hers. As in episode 11, Finn is planning to organise a party afterwards, but as everybody bails on him again, he's quite bored, but this time he says to Amy that he'll be waiting for her. We now see Finn and Josh in Josh's kitchen. Tom hears Finn's voice and kicks him out and warns him to stay away from Josh because he's trouble. Finn meets up with Amy and they finally kiss. He makes up one of probably the best excuses I've ever heard. He says he only kissed Siobhan because he wanted to know that it was Amy he really wanted to be with. So now they're officially together. Imagine that though. This guy really said that he kissed her friend just to make sure that he wanted to be with her. And it worked as well. This girl, she was wrapped around his finger. Nice guys finished last, you know. Finn's behaviour becomes more and more disruptive throughout the episodes. He encouraged Amy and Josh to smoking a legal high in episode 16. Tom's lunch is spiked with Finn's drugs. Kim, who's pregnant, starts to panic after realising she's bleeding. Tom offers to drive her to the hospital and the drugs make him lose consciousness at the wheel and they crash. In episode 18, Amy is encouraged to draw on an art piece which is priceless, only to be caught by a CCTV camera. This girl is really whipped on her man, doing everything for Finn just to show that she loved him. Due to the effect that their behaviour was having on each other, Finn and Amy were separated during school times, which made them become more frustrated at their friends because they weren't trying to help them be together during school. In the final episode of season 5, Finn's parents tell him that they're moving to Los Angeles and his relationship with Amy looks doomed. Amy's later stunned when he proposes that they make a suicide pact rather than live without each other. Amy, who's nervous but who's become so dependent on him, agrees and they head off to an isolated beach. The ending of season 5, the episode, and to be fair, the whole season was very good season, and I don't want to dive into it too much because I want to do the season 5 review episode as well, so stay tuned for that one. But it was at a point where you could look at it from 2 different views, either the ending of an era with the old characters leaving or the beginning of a new one with the new characters coming in season 6. Chris locates them and tells Amy and Finn that it's not the right thing to do. Amy for the first time listens to someone that's not Finn and she says that she's not on board with it and she doesn't want to do it. Finn on the other hand has no intention of stopping his plans and he starts to run towards the water, but Chris stops him and then he starts to cry in his arms, and it just shows that at the end of the day he was just a little boy who was upset and depressed because his parents gave him no attention. On to season 6 now. Throughout the start of season 6, Finn was bullying Harry and Josh followed along because he's a bumlick. In episode 7, Harry tries to drown himself to commit suicide because of Finn and Josh. At this point he was also in a relationship with Harry's sister Jess. When she found out, she punched him and basically ended the relationship because he was bullying her little brother. See, I feel like if this was Amy on the other hand, she would have just stayed in the relationship being like, yeah, nah, it's just my little brother, doesn't matter, I already do it anyway, so you can do it as well. Because she was whipped differently. Sam returns back to school in episode 15 and Harry and Finn clash instantly. Things got worse when Sam found out that Finn would be Denzel's new mentor. In episode 16, Sam accuses Finn of showing Denzel porn, but this wasn't the case because it was actually Kyle and another student called Wayne. When Sam realizes that she was wrong, she apologizes to Finn and they share a kiss, and this starts their relationship. In episode 17, Finn and Ronan organize an illegal party in some private property which is boarded up, where they find alcohol and they throw a party for all their classmates. Finn and Ronan bragging about the party backfires for them as it manages to turn away the two girls that they wanted to impress and turn up to the party, Vicky and Sam. Finn asks Sam to take him back and he gives her a £50 bracelet. She says to him that she can't be bought and she says that she will be going to the party but to look for decent guys and not losers like him and Ronan. That was her basically ending their relationship. Later at the party, Finn is begging Sam for forgiveness and another chance, but Sam is telling him that nothing has changed and what she said still stands. Gatecrashers of the party turn up. The leader of the gatecrashers, named Gav, approaches Sam and demands her to tell him who organised the party. After she refuses, Gav gives her a little shove and Finn runs to her rescue, saying that he organised the party. Gav pressures Finn and makes him pay some money, but Finn refuses until Sam says that he should just pay the money. So Finn decides to pay the money, but he doesn't have enough, so now there's a bit of a problem. At this point, Finn is about to get beaten up. Gav hits him and starts to beat him up. And just as Tom comes in, and Tom saves the day because Denzel called him earlier to get the party cancelled by Carol. Sam thanks Finn for saving her and they get back together. At the end of season 6, Finn gets Cal kicked off the school play on purpose, which annoys Sam. This leads to Cal and Denzel doing silly stunts again, and this is the biggest stunt they've done, and this one did not go right. It went so left. Denzel is seen climbing a railway bridge which is over a road. Finn goes up the railway bridge, gets Denzel up, but he isn't able to get himself up and falls down onto the floor. He's told that he might not be able to walk ever again. We're left on a cliffhanger with Finn, depending on whether he'll be able to walk again, but we see him and Sam coming back together happily, and she's saying that she's going to stick by him and if need be she'll push the wheelchair. We also see for the first time Cal and Finn actually getting along together and they become mates. It's revealed at the start of season 7 that Finn is all perfect and there's nothing wrong with him, he's not in a wheelchair or anything like that. In episode 3, it's revealed that Sam's cancer is uncurable. She was able to reveal that she was dying to Finn through the film project which she was doing in episode 3. In episode 4, Sam is surprised with a special meal which is from Rose, Tom, Finn, Amy, Lauren and the rest of the school. Finn later breaks up with Sam because he finds it very difficult to cope with the pressure that has been put on him after finding out that she's going to die. But then after realizing he's in the wrong for what he's done, Finn turns up to Sam's house and apologizes. They make up and he tells her that he'll be with her until the end. Finn stays committed to the cause as he shows that he's really committed till the end, and he does this by accompanying Sam with Lauren to Blackpool to say goodbye to her real dad before she passes away. She didn't end up meeting with him, but for the remainder of the day, Sam, Lauren and Finn make the most of the excursion to the seaside resort by having lunch, going up the tower and enjoying the rides at the pleasure beach. Later that evening, Sam dies in Rose and Tom's arms, and Finn is thinking about her holding the ring that she gave him. So the start of season 7 is mainly Finn trying to come to terms with losing Sam due to brain cancer and moving on with his life, and this is when he met Trudy and fell in love with her. This is in the second part of season 7 now. Trudy is noticed almost instantly on her first day at Waterloo Road by Finn, but was not so accepted by his friends, in particular Lauren, who was still grieving the death of Sam Bucher. The two start a relationship, but this is not accepted by Tarek, Trudy's brother. Halfway through their eventful relationship, Trudy falls pregnant with Finn's baby but is unable to tell him and reluctantly tells her brother. Trudy then breaks up with Finn by telling him she doesn't love him and he's still unaware of the pregnancy, so he just walks away angrily. Trudy and Tarek arrange for a termination, but when it comes to it, she can't actually go through with it. She later miscarries the baby and she's found by Sean, who tells Finn about the pregnancy and the miscarriage. Nearing the end of season 7, Finn becomes closer and joins the MSB, which is a rival gang of the DSC, which Kyle and Tarek are involved in. Finn then left the gang after he was pressured into burning down the Siddiqui's shed, distraught because Trudy had broken up with him. Finn started a fire into the shed, not knowing that Trudy and Tarek's sister Naz was in the shed, so he stood against his gang and saved Naz's life. This had a target on his head from his previous gang and the rival gang because Tarek was still angry and he nearly killed his sister. In the final episode of season 7, Finn is attacked by the MSB for trying to leave their gang. They try to kidnap him, but with the help of Josh and Michael, they're not successful in doing so. Trudy and Finn reunite during the last episode of season 7 and get back together. Josh later overhears a conversation between the MSB and the DSC where Eugene is telling Tarek and Cal that Finn is all theirs. This is where Cal orchestrates a plan to kill Finn with a crossbow. Josh sees this and is later kidnapped by the MSB. The issue is that nobody believes Josh because they think that he's hearing things because of his schizophrenia, which wasn't the case because everything that he said was true. After being saved from the kidnapping, at home Josh and Ronan are talking about the prom and he realizes that the prom is still going on, so Tom, Ronan and Josh rush to the prom to save Finn. Josh sees Cal with the crossbow aimed at Finn and he pushes Finn out of the way but was shot in the shoulder with the bow by Kyle, who was arrested and imprisoned. We last see Finn and Josh in the ambulance and Finn saying that he'll see Josh later. I know I didn't mention Josh and Finn's relationship throughout Waterloo Road, but theirs is one of very unique relationships. It was always a roller coaster, to be fair, because for example in season 6 when Josh kissed Finn, you thought that their friendship would never recover, but he really said to him that, listen, I am what I am. If you want to treat me like that, treat me like that. I don't want to be friends with you, but if you want to be friends with me, be friends with me. And they stayed friends from that and he just supported him. At the end of the day, he was his boy. And it shows that even though when he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, Finn wasn't there for him because he was busy with his own stuff, but when it came down to it, he was really there for his own friend and he wanted to make sure, and Finn understood that. That's why they had that hug at the end. I feel like Finn was definitely one of the best characters of Waterloo Road. The development of the character is phenomenal. For example, the way he starts in season 5 and then the maturity that goes on to season 7 at the end of it, it just shows that I like how Waterloo Road do that with different characters. Even for example with Sam or even Josh, the maturity levels when they grow older is just better and it shows real life, to be fair. Let me know who your favourite character of Waterloo Road is. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video, do everything that you can do with the video, yeah? And make sure you stay safe, stay good, peace out.